Welcome to Lab 3. You just saw how to start a service using Docker Compose. By default, Docker keeps all of the data in the container itself. That's like formatting your computer every time you turn it off. So we want to achieve a separation of the data. So we want the data to be stored on the host VPS, but yet the container will access it like it owns it, like it's on its own file system. Today you'll learn how to use volumes in Docker Compose. First of all, let's take a look at the services that we have running. So Docker PS. So we have WordPress running. We have a container for a database and the HTTP container. We want to destroy this, stop it for now, and we will recreate it using a volume. So let's just install it with some bogus data here. Install WordPress. I don't know what the login information is, so we can't do anything anyhow. Back to Docker Compose. We do not have a Docker Compose file in our current directory here. So if we were to go Docker Compose, just look at the config like we did last time. It's going to say there is no Docker Compose YAML file here. Are you in the correct directory? No, we are not. So we need to go here. And now we can because it's here. We started it using Docker Compose up -d, but we want to stop it. Not only do we want to stop it, we want to destroy the data so we can change our Docker Compose YAML file to include volumes. So we'll go Docker Compose down -v. -v is going to destroy the volume data, if any exists. Now coming back here, whatever our site was, it is now gone. We deleted it. So let's edit our Docker Compose file. We want to make several changes. One of the ones is we want to change the database. I want to use the open source variant instead, which is MariaDB, and we'll get the latest version out there so we are always up to date. And I want to keep the database files in the directory of the project so it makes it easy to back up. So by putting this / in front of it, this will say keep in this directory. So it's going to sync whatever MySQL database files there are in the directory here. And we also want to keep our WordPress files here as well so we can modify them easily. So volumes, we want to declare a volumes tag here, and be sure to get the indentations exactly right, because otherwise it's not going to work. And then again, we want to keep it in this folder, the same folder as the YAML file. So /, we'll call it WordPress. This can be anything we want. And then the directory inside of the container, which is var www.html. And then we need to declare the volume down here. So this will be WordPress. Okay. I think that's everything. Let's see, save and exit. And now we can determine Docker compose config. And yes, it is here, all the correct information. You see how when we did the /, it put in the actual directory, which is where we are. So if we go pwd, it'll tell us this is where we are. We have one more thing that we want to put in it. WordPress identified a problem, so we need to run some extra code here. We'll put this command right here. So now that we have it configured, the new file, we can start our project again. Docker compose up-d. And it's going to go ahead and pull in a new database image that we can use. The WordPress image already exists. It's just going to, now it's going to create it for us. So we can view the WordPress files. They are within the directory, so you can see the database files are here, and the HTML files as well. So we can edit the WordPress config, which we will do. For example, nano WordPress folder, and yeah, and the WordPress configuration is here. We won't change it now, but we could. This was pulled in directly from the YAML file. So let's go back to our web browser. Give it a test blog. We'll call it test user, and the password should, I'll save that for right now. Let's give it a minute to install. Okay, so we can log in. Test user login. Okay, so here is our brand new blog website. Docker PS, we can tell we have the two containers running, the database and then the HTML. So if we go Docker compose down, this will simply stop the service. Now we can look at the Docker PS, and it doesn't exist. So we can go to look at the archived ones, the ones that are not running. It doesn't exist. Come back here, refresh, it stopped. So if we go docker compose upd, dash d flag, it's going to start it again. The containers are starting, but the volume data still exists. So we can refresh the page and pick up right where we left off. The containers, the images could go away as long as this information here stays intact. So this is how Docker Compose saves data on the host machine in volumes.